I have a horrible feeling that my system might try and reboot itself at 10:15. It's got a scheduled restart, which I'm hoping I have deferred. But if you lose me suddenly at 10:15, you'll know that my system is not clever enough to realise that when somebody is live, it's not a great time to do a live update, which is not really very good. So anyway, I'm just trying to stop it from doing that. But anyway, if you do lose me at 10:15, please hang around because I won't be far away. Okay, let's just see how we go anyway. Okay, so, oh, sorry, that was a bit loud. Thanks for joining me, and I can see a few people jumping on already, which is great. Vicky's there. Good morning, Vicky. Anyway, so I'm going to do 2 cards today, and they're both very similar. I have a huge confession to make. I am actually going through a bit of crafter's block at the moment. So if you start seeing some designs that look a little bit familiar or a little bit samey, it's just because I'm trying to work my way through my block. The way I do that is just I make a lot of mess for a start. You should see this room. It's a bit of a disasters area, but I do tend to copy designs and rehash designs. So yeah, as you say, if you do look at a few of my cards in the next week or so and go, oh, that's very similar to the one she did last week, I'm just working through my block. So stay with me. I'm sure I will get through it as we all do. I've got some more here. Barb, good morning. Barb Johnston from Melbourne. Lovely to see you on. Thank you for commenting as you said you would. Okay, so this is my customer bonus card for July. It's a lovely simple card. As I say, when you're going through block, you basically it's best to keep it simple. But this is lovely nonetheless. I really like it. Uses one of my favourite designer series paper, the hand penned designer series paper, for these beautiful little butterflies here. And I think probably we're in the dead of winter here in Tasmania, and that means that it's pretty cold. So maybe I needed some butterfly spring to remind me that it doesn't go on forever. The white layer that you see behind the butterflies has been put through the pretty flowers. Yes, I think it's called Pretty Flowers embossing folder. Probably can't get that in the room, but it's really sweet. I have actually seen people with far more patience than me actually hand copy all these little individual flowers in here. So one day I might, when I want something a bit soothing, I may actually give that a go. Actually, my system's decided to tell me to reschedule my start, which is good. I might pause it. Let's see if I can pause it. There we go. Pause for 7 days. Let's hope that that's what I've done. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Eek, as I say, if you lose me at 10:15, hang around and I'll jump back on again as soon as I can. Anyway, so I'll show you how to pop this one together. So if you're a customer and you get for any amount of purchase during the month of July, I'll send you the kit for this one and you can pop it together. And this is the video to show you how to do that. Not that it's overly complicated. Your kit will have a couple of cute little butterflies. May be the same as the original card. It might be different. These ones are a little bit larger. I just thought that they needed to be a little bit larger to take up a bit of the space. You've got a layer of Whisper White, basic white that's been through that Pretty Flowers embossing folder. You've got a white panel for inside, and this is a Highland Heather card base, normal size card base for me, 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. So really all you need to do is pop it together. So grab some glue or your adhesive of choice. I'll put the inside one in first. So the reason I thought I'd better do 2 cards with you today is the fact that this one is so incredibly quick and easy. It seemed hardly worth everyone popping on just to watch the one card. So then I'm going to pop on now embossed panel, and because it's such a heavily embossed panel, I'm actually going to use double-sided tape. Now this is just a personal choice for me. I use double-sided tape on the really heavily embossed ones. Maybe you want to jump on and tell me what you use. I just find that a lot of glue goes into the little crevices and doesn't actually stick to the cardstock. So at least with double-sided tape, you're going to get those little mountains properly. Okay, so I'll just remove that. See a lot of people, familiar faces jumping on. There's Deborah and Sally. Good morning, Sally. Susan from Wisconsin. Thanks for joining me. And Kathy. Hey, Kathy. Oh, who else have we got? Aloha. Is that from Aina? Aina Cam Designs. Oh, thank you for joining me. Yes. Apologies for my Australian accent if I've totally destroyed your name. I do acknowledge you. Sorry, I haven't got my fingernails. I cut all my fingernails, but it's a bit hard to rip the double-sided tape off. Yes, so at the moment, yeah, I think because I've produced 2 classes every month for the whole year, sort of running out of ideas. And we've got the new Christmas or mini catalogue July to December mini catalogue coming very soon. So I'm actually hoping that will inspire me, which I'm sure it will. I'm sure all my mojo will come back. Okay, so you've got this tiny little circle here, which should also be in your kit, and that's from the Tasteful Labels die set, which is really handy. It's got some lovely labels in there. I'm just going to grab a dimensional or a foam square, whatever you use at home. Oh, actually, I'm going to stamp it first. See, that's my usual mistake when I'm not quite with it. Put the dimensionals on before I stamp. Okay, so I'm going to just use, like with my customer bonus cards, you ladies who have received them in the past realise that I design them so that you can use whatever stamp you may have at home. There's no particular sentiment or stamp set that you need. You can use whatever you've got. So I'm going to use the Happy Birthday from the Pansy Patch stamp set, which is a current stamp set. It's just a nice little happy birthday. I quite like that one. Just simple and plain, elegant, like the card really. And then I'm just going to pop some dimensionals on the back. Just going to do this now so that I can arrange it around arrange my butterflies around it more like. Okay, so I'm going to pop the sentiment over about the middle, but towards the left-hand side, about there. I'm just going to bring these, because these are bigger butterflies than the ones I used on my original card, so I better sort of re-measure that a little bit. He's quite large, isn't he? And this one's pretty big too. So if I go there and there, yep, that's my sentiment's going to have to come down a wee tad, but not too bad. There we are. Okay, then I'll grab some glue, and with these little butterflies, this is from the Brilliant Wings die set. I just put glue down the middle of their little bodies, their little thoraxes, I suppose they'd be, and I'll pop them on like that, just because I like, as long as you're very gentle with them, of course, I like their wings to sort of, wait till he dries before I do it. I like their wings to sort of be up and a little bit more natural with the glue just in the middle. Okay, that little guy there, a little bit of extra glue, so I'll grab a wipe. There we go. Okay, so in your kit you will also have some of my favourites, and I need to buy some more favourite pastel pearls. And I'm going to pop a pastel, I'm going to use the Highland Heather ones naturally, and I'm going to pop a pastel pearl in the centre of each, or just on the head of my little butterflies. So one there and one up here. Might put his on his body because he's got quite a big body. Yeah, and because I always have to have 3 because otherwise it's bad luck, I'm going to pop the 3rd one on our sentiment box up here, I think. It's slightly different. I've done a different sentiment on my original card, but just goes to show you can use whichever sentiment you want. And I actually stamped it in Highland Heather, which I actually quite like. I probably should have done it for this one. But anyway, it's up to you guys. As I say, you can use whatever stamp and whatever colour you want. And I'm just going to give those wings, now that they've dried on a wee bit, just a bit of a fold up with my thumb. Obviously, they're going to go flat in the envelope, but hopefully they'll spring back a tiny bit when they come out. But they just look like they've just flown in and landed on the card, and it's really, really lovely. Although I've never seen a butterfly that colour. Maybe you guys have. Okay, so it's lovely, isn't it? It's just simple. Anyway, there we go. So that's the original version that I designed, and this is the one for you guys to follow. As I say, this is my customer bonus card, and any purchase through my online store or directly to me during the month of July will get you the kit to make that little thing. So there's no minimum purchase, just pop on and buy, and you will get that kit. I usually send them out towards the end of the month. So if you buy early in the month and you don't get it straight away, just bear with me. I usually do my customer cards towards the end of the month so I can catch everyone. Okay, second card. Second card is what we call it, a cascading Z, I think I've seen it called. And again, I'm using the butterflies. As I say, with my crafter's block, I thought I'd basically stick to butterflies and see if I could work what I could do with them, just to sort of cut down the possibilities and let me focus a little bit. So yes, it's a cascading, which means it basically does this sort of, the Zs are actually sort of come down like a waterfall. And I've got 5 white butterflies sort of on each of the levels, so that they look like they're coming down in the cascade as well. So yeah, quite like this one, using the same paper as I used for our original butterflies, the hand penned designer series paper, which if you're interested and you like the look of it, and I mean, goodness me, what's not to like, it's actually 15% off at the moment. So yeah, so if you like it, pop in, stock up. What's the saying? Stock up and save. Yes, 15% off is a nice amount off. I think in Australian dollars it brings it from 20 down to 17, so it's quite nice. So anyway, that's our card that I'm going to do now, and I've done very little of the cutting with this one because I think it's important, if you want to make them at home, that you actually have an idea of how the cutting's done. Let's hope I can do it without causing myself too many traumas. Okay, so I'm starting with a plain piece of fresh freesia cardstock. This is one of the new in colours. It's really beautiful. It's an A4 piece. So if you've got 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock at home, it's fairly easy. You just score it 4 and 4, so 4 and 8. You've got the nice even numbers. Because A4 cardstock's slightly less than 12 inches, I've had to bring the scores in a little bit. And so I'm actually going to score 3 and 7/8, or maybe 3 and 15/8. This is a bit of an experiment. You should never change designs mid-path, should you? I'm going to score it at 3 and 15/16, so just under 4 from both ends, and let's fingers crossed that it works. If not, I'll rewind and go with my first design. So you basically got your piece of cardstock with the 2, I don't know if you can see those in the light, the 2 score marks in it. Okay, so then what you need to do is cut, and you're actually going to get 2 of the cascades from this sheet, because you use half and half. I'm going to grab a pencil or something. If I've got a pencil, I might not have one. Maybe I'll use a pen, but I won't actually push too hard. And from both ends of the paper, measure down 5.5 inches and pop just a mark, just a dash or just an indent in the paper. Then flip it and do the same at the other end. So your 5.5 inches is starting, so diagonally each other. So there's my 5.5 there, and the other one is at the sort of diagonally at the other end. So the short ends are left and right. I'll turn it around so you can see. So I've got 5.5 inches from bottom to top and 5.5 inches from top to bottom. So they're diagonally opposite each other. Then what we do is bring our marks in line with our, if I can find them, bring our marks in line with our trimmer blade, line it up with the track, use a guillotine or whatever you guys use at home. And it's gone out of this. And just cut between the two. Okay, so as I said, you get 2 of the pieces of cardstock. So you can make 2 cards with the same beginning piece of cardstock. I'll pop that one aside. I'll get rid of my trimmer. Hopefully it won't clang and bash. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to work with. And as you can see, that's where you get your Cascade Z look from. Okay, so there we are. My trimmer blade must need replacing. Everything's going wrong today. Well, not wrong. You know what I mean. Okay, so there we are. So what I'm going to do now is put layers and designer series paper on the frontward facing panels of our cascade. So it means I'm putting it on that front one, I'm putting it on this one, and I'm putting it on that one. So it sort of alternates. If you have it open like that, I'm going to put it on this one, and then the back of that one, and then the front of this one. That's very important, because if you end up just doing them all in a row, it's going to be wasted, because you're not going to see it when the card is up. So all I've got is some pieces of, it's got to be the best colour in the universe. This is Blackberry Bliss, and they are 1/4 of an inch narrower than our panels. So you can see there, but I haven't trimmed them to the angle yet. I'm going to show you how I do the trimming to the angle. So those are the first layer, and then I've got our beautiful designer series paper, and they are 1/8 of an inch narrower. I think that makes them 3 5/8 or something like that. And they're going to sit on there. And I haven't trimmed those to the angle yet either, so I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to grab my pen again. It's only because I can't find a pencil. I'm very disorganised at the moment. And I'll start with our Blackberry Bliss. This might be a bit tricky, because Blackberry Bliss isn't a great colour to actually mark on, because you can't see it very well. I'm going to line the pieces of cardstock up, side, bottom and other side, so that they're the right distance. I'll come into the centre of the shot there. So I've got same borders all the way around. Then I'm just going to mark there on sort of just the sort of 1/8 of an inch down from the edge of the fresh freesia, and then the same on the other side. So I'm just putting a little dot. Then what I'm going to do is bring in my, forgive me, I'm going to use a non-stamping up guillotine. Line up the 2 little marks, if I can find where they were. As I say, Blackberry Bliss probably wasn't a great choice, but I just love it so much. Line up the 2 marks with the guillotine. And chop it. Now, if I was a very clever person, that one would fit perfectly in there, but it doesn't. It's too short. I suppose it really wouldn't matter too much that it's too short, because you're not going to see that bottom anyway, are you? The fact that it's slightly short. No, I won't confuse matters. I've got a separate piece. So there's our piece of Blackberry Bliss that fits in that little panel there. So then what you need to do, I'm going to do this end one first, the big one, just so I don't have to flip over straight away, because remember, you do need to flip over, or you're going to have everything the mirror image of what you actually want. So align it up again so it's the same border all the way around. Estimate the distance down. It's not too hard. There. So I've got the 2 angles. Line it up again with my little guillotine. You can do it with your trimmer, of course. No need to use, if you haven't got one. If you've got a good eye, you could even do it with a ruler and some scissors, I suppose. So there I've got the last one. And then I'm going to put those 2 aside so I don't forget where they live. Flip it over, and I'm going to do the middle one. Okay, so same thing again. It's going to get a bit boring. Line it up. This one's actually hard. That one there. No, it's not so hard up. It is a little bit hard up on there, but that's okay. And there. And you might as well make a cup of coffee while you're here. So I've still got the paper to do, but you get the idea. I didn't want to sort of cut it beforehand just in case. But once you've got the design underway, you could probably work out the measurements that fit your particular card. So if you know that you've got a 5.5 inch up here, you know you need a X by Z or Y by X by Y sort of piece of cardstock to fit it. Okay, so that's the one that goes there. To avoid confusion, and you guys know that, well, you don't know, but basically outside this screenshot, my craft room is a bit of a disaster at the moment. Ladies who come to my home classes know that crafting with Julianne can be a explosive experience at times, i.e. pieces of paper everywhere. Okay, so that's that there. I'll pop my glasses back on because I haven't been watching your comments, which is slack of me. Got 30 people on, thank you. Who have we got? Roz. Hey Roz, lovely to see you. And Julie. And Vicky there. And who's this? First time here. Thank you. Oh, now I'm going to get that one right. Kazarina. Oh, I love it. Very exotic. And Rosemary from California. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. I'm usually a Saturday morning girl. As I think as Barbara pointed out to me yesterday, she was missing me or had missed me, thought she'd missed me. But we went to some open homes with my son who's looking to buy a house with his partner. And so they were smack bang in the middle of my usual crafting time. So obviously open homes wait for no man or woman, person. So I changed to this morning. To a couple of nice homes they saw. The first one was the biggest open home I've ever seen in my life. The lady had actually run out of, the real estate agent had actually run out of brochures by the time we got there, and we sort of arrived at opening time, so it was full of people, not very socially distanced either now I think about it, but anyway, yes, so yeah, lots and lots of people, and the agent said they already had so many offers to put in that the kids didn't even bother with their budget. They didn't think they could make any an offer to match if they already had so many. The second one was good. They're actually thinking of putting in an offer on the second one, which is nice. Okay, so we've got our base on there. That looks really dark, doesn't it? Trust me, that's not black. That is Blackberry Bliss. So anyway, good. All right, so what we're going to do is bring in our pieces of designer series paper. Okay, so the same thing. I'm going to have a much smaller border on there. But again, so it's going to be a smaller gap I leave at the top. So just mark it with my pen. That one's going to go right up into the corner there. If I was clever, I'd do them all at the one time, but I just don't want to confuse matters and get my pieces of cardstock disappearing into the messy abyss that is the craft room at the moment. Okay, so that's that one. So I'm going to keep this beautiful sort of purpley side up on the front. Thankfully, I'd lucked that because I hadn't actually consciously thought that was the end I needed to keep up. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is alternate. I'm going to use the flower side of the same paper, which is lovely. It really is the nicest paper. I've been using it a lot, as you guys probably know. Been watching me a bit, it's one of my favorites at the moment, and as I say, 15% off if you'd like to grab some. And if you do grab some this month, you get our first card as a bonus kit. Gosh, win-win. Okay, so that's our second one. Yeah, I hope so too, Roz. They're actually living with us at the moment, and I don't mind it, although they have been with us for nearly 2 years. They've been saving. They've only just got to the point where they have a reasonable deposit. The trouble is the market's moved on, and what was reasonable 2 years ago isn't scraping the barrel, scraping the edges. That's an Australian saying, isn't sufficient anymore. So it's a matter of, yeah, they're caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, or me, and I don't know which one in that equation I am, but yeah, one of those things. I think they really do need their space. Anyway, okay, so this is the last one. Sorry, talking rather than commentating here. But the nice thing is they're looking in the same area that we live, so they're never going to be, hopefully, far away. And I actually work with the same company as my son, so he's always upstairs when if I want to chat to him, I just wander upstairs and there he is, mostly. It's really nice working with him. Okay, so this is Hobart. You work with most people, to be honest, from one stage to another. That's especially work in finance. Okay, so there's all the paper on. So there we are. So as you can see, you've got the purple and then the floral and then the purple. And okay, so now all we need to do is bring in our little butterflies. So I've got some butterflies here that I prepared earlier, which is why the craft room looks like it's been snowing inside, because it's lots of little butterfly bits all over the place. So there we are. I've got 5, or I might have 6. Let's see. I just sort of cut whatever comes to hand. I've got the big guy for the back, and some little ones, some medium ones. Okay, so I've got 6. I don't know that we're going to get them all on, but I've got 6. Okay, so I'll copy my other ones, since you need to reinvent the wheel. The big guy here, he's the biggest butterfly from the set. I'm going to set him at the top, at the back. And I've just realised this card is actually a mirror image of my other card. Doesn't matter, but it's funny. So you think you've made the same card and you've actually made the mirror image. The other one will be, well, no, this one would have been right if I'd flipped it over, but anyway, all good, doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to pop this first guy right at the back because he's the biggest. I'm just going to line him up. So I like that makes the card quite delicate. I like that wing sort of poking up and away from the cardstock. So I'm going to do that again with this guy. So I'm just going to pop again some glue on his little body there, which I think from high school biology is called his thorax, or somebody whose high school biology is not that far behind can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what an insect's body is called. Okay, just going to pop him on there. As I say, don't take him too far up because the card does have to still fit into an envelope, so you don't want to go too far up. And he is quite delicate there, so yeah, you don't want to have too much overhang or his antennas will pop off. Okay. Yes, Vicky, I am very good at mirroring my cards. I do lots of things left-handed. I am actually in some things, and not everything. I am sort of ambidextrous with some things. Weird things. Like I play the flute left-handed. I am right-handed in everything, but I play the flute left-handed. And I Aussie rules kick a football left-handed. There's probably lots of other things that I haven't tried that if I did, I would do left-handed. But yeah, I'm quite a bizarre creature when it comes to that. And other ways people would say. I wonder sometimes whether it was I am actually left-handed and the schooling system took it away, forced me otherwise, which is what they tended to do with kids my age. Because my eldest, the one that's looking for a house, he is actually left-handed. We've just sort of let him, obviously he's naturally left-handed. So, yeah, so I wonder whether maybe it's in the family, but it's just been stamped out in earlier generations. Okay, so I've got too much talking, not enough grafting. I've got this other little guy here. It's tricky now because I've got to think on the mirror image of the original card. And so I'm going to put him on the second layer, just in there. So he's sort of flapping his way down the cascade. Then I've got This is the second largest butterfly. He could have gone on that one, but I'm bringing him forward to the front as a bit of a feature. He's going to go over here. Again, I'm going to overlap him with the previous level or layer. Excuse me, layer. Just scroll down my. Oh, I got by 10:15 without my system rebooting. That was pretty cool. I must have fixed it without realising, or it's clever enough to work out that during a live video is not a good time to reboot. Okay, so I've got those three on. What I'm going to do now is bring in the sentiment box, which is the same one, or circle, which is the same one you would have seen in the last card. It's from the Tasteful Labels. And again, I'm going to use my happy birthday from the pansy dies, and this time I'm going to bring it in with I'm going to bring in a different colour for my sentiment. I'm going to use actually I might go Gorgeous Grape because it's a little bit darker than Highland Heather, just to make it stand out a little bit but bring the colour forward. As I say, it doesn't really matter what colour you use. I just liked the purple on the other one. Just going to use my happy birthday again. Ink. Don't want to get ink everywhere. So I've got my happy birthday. Again, I'm going to pop it on some dimensionals, foam squares, whatever you guys use. We've got Kathy on too, Kathy and Linda. Thanks for joining me, guys. Members of my team. Not my team, not Donna's team, but teammates of mine. Okay, so this little sentiment I'm going to pop to the bottom left-hand corner of this one, which is the mirror image of the other one. There we are. So I've done that now just so I can fit the other little butterflies around it. So I want to bring the tiny weeny baby one. I'm going to put him just there, or her, just there. I'll try and bring her that way. Now I've decided she's a she. Just a little bit of glue on the back. There we are. And I've got the next one, the next sized up one, and I'm going to pop that down here, just so it looks like I've got a whole swarm. Is that what group of butterflies? Okay, clever jogs out there. What's a group of butterflies called? Swarm? That sounds like bees. There are some very weird group of names out there. One that gets me is a murder of crows. Don't know whether that means that groups of crows commit murder or hang around where murder has been done, or just because they're black and sort of foreboding. I don't know. Anyone knows that, please put it in the comments and complete my education. But we need to know what a group of butterflies is called. Hopefully it's something nicer than swarm. Okay, so that's all my butterflies in. Now, I've just looked at that card and thought, where would you write? And what I thought probably would be the best thing to do is get a white panel or a white sentiment box and pop it in there just to write on. Especially, it's probably not too bad with the light colour that we've done, but I reckon probably a little sentiment box in there for writing to such and such, or even down here. Actually, I think I like that idea better, so it's actually facing forwards. Might grab one and pop it on there, but I'll finish this off first. Okay, so we want some bling. Ain't no card unless it's got bling. And I'm just going to use rhinestones, basic rhinestones. And I'm going to just use 3. I'm just going to put them on the bodies of those front butterflies. One, 2. Three. There we are. Now, as far as an inside sentiment box, let's have a look and see what's big enough in the Tasteful label, since that's what I've got out. that one? I think that one's too big. Let's have a little compare. A flutter of butterflies. Oh, I like that, Barbara. Even if it isn't it, it should be. A kaleidoscope. Oh, I like that too. That's much nicer than a murder of crows or a swarm of bees. No, that one fits really nicely. I might use that one. Or it might take up a bit too much of the colour. Maybe we just stick to that one. Yeah, I'll stick to that one. That one can take up too much of, cover up too much of our pretty designer series paper. So I'm going to use this one. Now I have further admissions to make that my large cut and emboss machine is out of action at the moment due to me absent-mindedly putting the sandwich through at the wrong order and absolutely ruining my plates. So we have to stick to the baby. That's not such a bad option to have, but it means I need to cut my paper down. Scissors, scissors, scissors. I had some scissors here somewhere. Gosh, under the mess. Come on, where are you, scissors? Oi, oi, oi. Here we go. So I'm just going to cut that piece down to roughly the right size. Pop it through my little mini, my little friend. It's just so cute and so cool. Okay. Oh. Tammy is watching. I haven't seen her pop up. I haven't delivered her machine. I give a machine away every quarter to a customer. I have a lucky draw, and Tammy, who's a customer of mine, won it, and I haven't delivered it to her yet. Thankfully, she lives locally, so I'm going to hand deliver it, but it's still sitting in my hallway, ready to go. Okay, so that's this one. I'm just going to glue that in, and that's plenty to write, you know, dear mum, happy birthday from me there. You could even stamp another sentiment in there if you wanted to. Best wishes or something like that, or you can just leave it blank for your message. There we go. That one's much more complete. Okay, so that one's done. Here's its mirror. So that fits into a normal 4x6 or roughly A6 or C6 envelope, whichever you have, and it looks quite as nice, just as nice in the mirror image. I have seen them where they intersperse the two and they have this beautiful cascade. That would be something splendid, wouldn't it? Anyway, so that's the one we've done today. Okay, so thank you guys for bearing with me and tuning in today. As I say, they are very similar cards, mostly because of my obsession with butterflies at the moment. This one on the left is my customer bonus card, and this cool little one is just a sort of I think it's just pretty, and it looks so nice sort of sitting up like that with our little kaleidoscope or flutter. They're all beautiful ways to describe the butterflies, and that paper as well. As I say, if you love that paper like I do, it's actually on sale at the moment. So anyway, thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your weekend. I can say that fairly safely, given it's Saturday or Sunday in most places where you're all watching from. Have a great weekend, and you know, look out for future videos. And I'd love to have you all on board next time. So thanks a lot, and I will see you all next weekend. Bye.